That's what we live in the title. It's either you straight or gay, black or white, Republican or Democrat. What else? Vax or anti-vax. It's a title for it. People got like 12 goddamn titles.
Welcome to the Hart Felt podcast, brought to you by Solistic Ministries. I am your intuitively guided host, Kleo Hart. Today, I am having my first ever guest, and I want to bring different people in to have healing conversations on different topics in hopes of expanding you, the congregation's mind. So I will have these guests and bring them into the pulpit, so to speak. Our first guest will be Malie Endigo Weirdie Flores, who is a local Houston artist. We're going to just have a healing conversation. And this is an intuitive conversation, as they all are, so just vibe with us. Enjoy. So first off, how are you? How is your energy?
It's energizing. No, it's up. It's being it, bring this in the right way. It's up and down the days, but it's been more ups than downs, which has been a good thing.
We are, at the time of recording this, experiencing a retrograde. Mercury is coming through, exposing shit and bringing the things that's like we've been trying to hide from, or conclusions to old stories are taking place right now. And those who were playing victim or being a charlatan, as I like to call them, faking, acting like they were the ones who were whatever, or being like, no, it was you the whole time, or that you aren't actually walking like you talking. And it is a time where nothing can hide. It's like Diddy. It's like a global Diddy exposure type shit going on.
For everything. Though.
Right. And I want to talk about that too. But in general, even in our local communities, and I had a conversation with one of the community leaders in terms of teach yoga and things like that today, and I was saying right now that Diddy shit is happening even in our local communities. The spiritual teacher, preacher, whatever, who've been doing shit in the dark, although they've always in the church, you see those things. It's also happening in the community, and it's time for those things to be exposed as well. So there are definitely ups and downs, to say all of that, to say there have not even downs. I ain't having no downs. I've been obedient. I'm proud of my obedience. I am. But happy to hear your energy is good. So in healing conversations, and just wanted to be present in time that we're in. It's not, whenever you listen to this or hear this podcast, I always want it to land perfectly for the listener. And I want to have universal conversation that doesn't really, that exceeds beyond time. Right. So in the present day, what do you feel like what part of your healing journey do you feel like you're on? And do you feel like you have started?
I feel like the journey I'm on is using solitude for positivity, if that makes sense. Not saying I'm always by myself. Of course, the kiddos, and I got my core, the chat, and stuff like that. But solitude in a sense of loneliness, but being alone. And
like, I like me. I enjoy me time.
Taking yourself out. Self-care shouldn't be a thing that's set on a certain date. It should be something that's a regular ritual, if that makes sense.
100%. I do realize that my life has become ritualized. Rituals that I have become my life. so to speak. And caring for myself, not just so like spiritual baths, or my self-care day has become self-care moments, self-care times throughout the week where I'll give myself a spiritual bath, or I'll just sit in prayer and just tend to myself. And I don't think a lot of people do that, truthfully.
Or whatever the case may be, because sometimes I may just need to go drive down the street and scream and then come back to the house.
That's self-care.
Exactly. That is definitely self-care.
That's self-care.
Some people don't understand mental health should be self-care first, the first priority of self-care.
Do you consider mental, spiritual synonymous?
Yeah, definitely, because I feel like your mental energy always transmute into your physical energy. So, and then it's like, even recently, even though I've been knew this, but Cat Williams had said on his recent stand-up when he was like, your brain don't know when you BSing.
No.
And so people really don't understand it. So they are hand in hand.
How your spirit
you can't say that you're doing your rituals at your altar, but in your mental state you don't even have any confidence in yourself, let alone something outside itself. So it's definitely synonymous. They go together.
I grew up seeing a lot of hopeless preachers, and I didn't understand it. You feel like you are called to serve God and tend to his flock, right? But you still don't have hope for yourself, your life, your children, and all of those things that may be in some form of disarray. You don't have no hope for it turning around, or you giving up, or even there's no action. It's just like wait for God to fix it, and still not really think it's gonna get fixed at the same time. It's crazy to me. Great.
Because it's respectfully, because I grew up around a lot of them. Some of the most doubtful people I know are Christians. And it's
very negative, Nancy.
It'll be doubt. Something happens that's good, then it's crazy. But you wouldn't.
But and then still be like, praise them, but not really praising them for you, or if it didn't necessarily happen for you, or the way it's something you're not completely appreciative with because of your expectation of how that may or may not, how it went or did not go type shit. I don't get that. But so how long do you feel like you have reached ultimate faith?
Ultimate faith?
I know God got me with nothing. I have this level of faith that I don't doubt for a second that my life is magical and that magical things happen for me and around me because of my obedience to God that created me and the God within me that connects to all that is around me. Mm-hmm. So I am 100% faithful in the total God. Our whole relationship, internal, external. I have no, can't tell me.
And from previous conversations that we had, my interpretation of God or some higher being or whatever it is.
Creator.
I don't even have the time. Most of the time, I don't even stamp a title or a name, tag a name, because I feel like that personifies it in a sense. Okay. And if it was something personal that I was, or like some person that I wanted to seek, then I would seek that person. But it's something greater, so I don't even want to manifest that in my head. Because whenever, even with God or whatever, I've in the past, in the recent, when I say that, or when I was in church, when I had to go to church or whatever, whenever it was God, it was always a figure, a being that I would
outside,
always envision.
Something you have to reach and obtain.
Like, and so what I believe or have faith in doesn't even have form. So it's no point in even giving it no type of form, name, or anything like that. It is like
I am. So I do need, because this is my relationship. That's my first man. You know what I'm saying? Or my first partner, God, the creator. And so how I look at creation and how I look at the creator, I look at it as a union, because you can't create life without both man and woman. And God in my mind is both masculine and feminine, but it is the union of God the man and God the universe. God or not man, God the creator who spoke into the universe, and God the universe. So I still look at it as the masculine who came inside, nutted, and created all of this. And that's daddy, mama. That's how it processes for my.
And for me, I'm kind of think real logical and sometimes maybe over logical. And I don't want to sound like a peak me, but I don't even like referring to a God or nothing like that as man, because from history of man, it's not a good thing. It's
Right.
to give
no human
creation.
Right.
So it's like, again, like I said, and again, if it's something without form, then
it's energy.
So it doesn't have to even have to claim a masculine or feminine, because that's non-existent to it. It exists to us in our realm.
But I think that the basic form of feminine and masculine energy in itself is just energy. So it is just, we're calling it masculine, yes, but it is just energy, because that same energy can reside in the opposite sex. So just like God as a creator, or the creator head, right, also exists inside any. Now, in terms of this whole global nature, in terms of the universal and their laws and how it operates, when you actually, or I, just speaking from my experience, when I experience certain things, the water is a feminine nature, and that's God.
And see, like, so use water. So I mean, that's another thing. It's no feminine nor masculine. It just is, because it could be still as glass where you can see your reflection, or it could be a tsunami and wipe out everything and destroy it. So it's like, and that's with everything. So that's like with earth, with fire, with wind, with air. They both can be both. It's the yin and yang. They got to get one can't exist without the other.
Agreed. Just like man can't exist without woman.
Of course.
Some people try to say like it does not. Trust me. There are communities that do not believe that there's a requirement or existence. And there was a story that I heard in a class I took on spiritual class, workshop or a talk I sat in on. And he was talking about this planet of women, all women who could create and procreate. Because if we think about the realms, or the spiritual realm, and all that exists, because we now know other entities or life forms exist on other planets, right? All of these different planets that we have not even touched or explored, there's one that is specifically just women who can procreate without man. And that there is almost like a world of woman king. So that's a good, in terms of understanding your creation. But back to my question, because you took me all off talking about when I think about God and stuff like that. What do you feel like your faith in that energy then, in the creator source energy?
It's grown stronger, being that I've reached out to it stronger or more. It's got really strong. So
Does it feel uncomfortable?
Times, but I do understand that uncomfortable means something's changing.
Ashe.
A lot of times.
From a man's perspective, what does that, going into that, how would you encourage? Because you're further than somebody who's never took a first step, right? So if you were taking a first step, what would you, or your brother was taking a first step into understanding their spiritual essence?
The first step, I feel like, is to seek for yourself, whatever it may be. Because you might find your peace in the religion of Islam, or you may find it in Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, whatever the case may be. Like, you may find it in Omnism, like me. Like, I feel like it's truth in everything and some BS in everything. So it's just, I feel like the first thing to do is to seek out. Because when you lost, the first thing you're gonna do is try to find it. That's your first instinct, is try to find your way. So in life, when you lost, like, don't be scared to try to find your way. Don't question everything. I feel like everybody should question everything and shouldn't be. And again,
People don't like being questioned.
they may not, but that's being uncomfortable, and with uncomfortable come change. So,
Motherfuckers hate being questioned. Don't question shit.
some people hate being questioned, and then some people hate getting the answers.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what it be for a lot of people, getting certain answers that they may not be ready for or feel like they scared of, and that's not even just in faith. They could be with closure with somebody, with a family member, with whatever the case may be. Like,
Mm-hmm. I went, well, you missed, but the God body talk thing. And 19 Keys said, without respect of religion, whatever your religion may be right now, the first thing is to be connected to yourself and understand your energy. And when Nipsey said something similar about mastering your energy, that was something that really, I think, catapulted me to understand myself, because all I do all my life is I just felt a lot. I felt heavy. I felt deeply. I could feel shit that wasn't my own. I didn't realize it wasn't my own shit. I could just, somebody would cry, I'm crying back. Somebody energy low, I'm feeling it, and I'm trying to understand what I'm feeling, and because it's not my own, I tend to this what causes me to ask questions so that it starts to settle when I have understanding. Not that I need to anymore. Once upon a time, I used to need the understanding in order to feel better within myself. But it's not at this stage. It's like, nah, it's not my business. I don't care. You don't want to share. I'm not gonna pry when my gifts are needed or requested or required or appreciated. Then our energies will align, or your spirit will align, and you'll be willing to, for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying, to talk to me or share, or if you want to. But I've learned to master my energy to a point where if I don't want to feel the shit, I don't got to feel the shit.
Yeah.
But it did take me being inquisitive about me instead of everybody else. And I think too many people, for real, mind other people's spiritual business.
I feel like a lot of people care too much about outside acceptance, about what they have going on.
We live in a vain world.
Like spiritually, physically, material wise. Like, a lot of people, like, really, especially in social media days, a lot of people cling to wanting people to know, or making it look like something, or whatever the case is. And a lot of people should just, because everything is a title. That's, again, it kind of goes into why, like, I don't even want to give what I believe in a title, because that's what we live in, a title. It's either you straight or gay, black or white, Republican or Democrat, what else? Vax or anti-vax. Like, it's a title for, like, people got like 12 goddamn titles, and it's like, I'm so tired of this shit. Don't nobody care about that.
Right, it's too many things.
Like, and that's what's presented first, almost, damn. And everybody's basing judgment off of that.
Right. But I do understand that the logical brain needs something to grasp hold on. That is for our frontal lobe, our first mind, or our forethought. That's the word. Our forethought requires some sort of logical explanation for a lot of things in order to be able to function, to get into some sort of identity or identify. There needs to be some sort of identification of things for some people to even separate. But in terms of like this whole spiritual thing, the other day, my Lyft driver asked me, I understand that I have a unique aesthetic Not many people look like me. Even the people in the community who try don't look like I have my own energy. And he asked, what, and I wasn't talking about anything. I was on the phone the whole time with my sister. But when I got off the phone, he was like, what do you practice? And I was like, I guess nobody had ever actually just asked me what I practice. And I told him righteousness. That was the first thing that came out of my mouth. But that's really what it's not about, I grew up as, I'm no longer, but although I grew up a pastor's kid, I don't identify, but I speak church. And I don't, but my beliefs, my knowing and my knowledge has expanded beyond the church walls, that I can't stay confined to things that have proven, and because my left brain completely understands like science, and to me that makes me fall even more in love with God, because it's like, you created this shit. The creator just created shit so laced. And as someone who identifies as a creator in my own creatorship, that's dope as fuck. To create all, even in our processing, how our brain processes was created. And then how to actually, whenever we need to unload, reload, is something in nature, in this total creation, that'll help us with navigating just this vehicle. If I'm too high in the sky, I need to go ground and I can go outside. If I'm too deep in the waters, I can write it down so that that releases it from my brain. And we were all things connected to everything. So what does healed, if there's ever a full version of that, but what does healed Malie look like?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, yeah, I didn't think you were gonna say healed Malie. I'm not ashamed to say this, but I don't know.
That's real.
Show me somebody who's 100% healed, and I'm gonna ask what their regimen was. But I feel like everybody is either trying to heal, don't care about healing, or is in a an active process of healing.
Something.
Yeah,
right.
So I wouldn't know what a fully healed mean. I would love to see it. I can say that. I want to see what it is, and that's what I'm working on. But what it looks like,
I respect that. I can't say I know 100% what the healed version of Kleo me looks like. I just know this next level of healing, and looking back at the things that I have healed, I can't even necessarily say I would have thought that. I think that I'm making Kiki proud, but I don't necessarily know if I have a vision, but I do have a vision of the next version I want to accomplish that will be healed from this present state. I think it'll be more centered with my power. I feel like I have harnessed a lot of it. My ancestors always respond. I've harnessed a lot of it, no buts. However, I feel like as we continue our internal healing and work, it never stops unless you stop.
Plus, a lot of people are working with healing, whether it's a psychiatrist, whether it's spiritually, whether it's religiously. We are still working on technically other people's time in the sense of the information that we're receiving to change. So that's going back, and I brought that up too. They going back to, like you said, ask what if my brother or something like that talking to a black man, just step out there. Sometimes you have to, again, make yourself real uncomfortable to change what you're trying to change. Because it's even working out. When you're working out, it's not comfortable.
That's that's definitely my next heal version.
It's not a comfortable thing. So why would mental workout and stuff like that be comfortable?
Right. I'm actively healing my relationship with the gym. Actively. But I'm getting better. Starting to like get to that phase where I feel like I need to move. Like, gotta get the energy out. But agreed or understood, shall I say. So what level are you working on now? What are you currently, if you don't mind, that could be too much sharing, but what you want to share, what is something you're currently working on healing in your present day?
Healing my inability to show affection more, especially to women. Not that I was just, especially being unemotional. A lot of people feel like that's like a ploy or a play or something like that. When a lot of times it's me and we won't say it out loud, but nonchalant, that's a defense barrier. That's me. That's a dude saying, I'm not trying to put everything out there because the last time I did that, it was used against me.
Your heart.
The emotion with it, just that vulnerability. So it's like, we're just working on learning discernment and how much to give what person or what the case is.
It is disheartening to know so many men feel like they have to, and most of the time when it comes to romantic relationships, that they have to do the defensive or what'd you call it, recluse and nonchalant energy. They have to do that in those romantic spaces where it's like, you like her, you want to be loved, just let her love on you. Nine times out of 10, she really just want to, or at least I am. I have no inability to love. I love freely and I have an infinite amount of love, even where my love might have not, quote unquote, been poured into the wrong place. I don't feel like I lost any love. I don't feel like I lack love now because of that. But I do understand why men sometimes feel like they have to protect or guard levels of their vulnerability, even with women in those romantic spaces where it's like, you seen my coochie, we've been inside of each other. That is completely vulnerable to me. I don't understand how it's not the most vulnerable for people to say, I could do all of that with you and then cut off a part of who I am. But there are women who manipulate that. I've seen it.
I'm about to say, because a lot of times, I don't want to say a lot of times, I just know, but I'm going to say, I'm always say 50-50. I'm going to say half the times.
Well, half not my homegirl.
That's when sex is when a man is accepted unconditionally. And I'm going to say that if them sex partners are, if they have their thing going on and she's happy with his sex, a lot of times that's when the dude is being vulnerable. And that's when
he's showing, talking with.
I'm not going to say showing. I'm going to say that's when he's feeling accepted. You keep jumping over what I said, when he's feeling accepted. Just at that time, in that moment, especially. Not before, not after. I'm talking about during that moment. Sex is a time where a man is being received, and
that's what it's supposed to be. We are the receivers on the receiving end for the most part.
Talking about physically.
I know, but
emotionally.
It's on both sides. It's the duality, honestly. There's duality in all of it. It's not just...
I didn't negate the other side. Because we started off with the guy. You started off asking me.
Right, or the sex part.
I was giving that highlight, that point of view.
Right. I get what you're saying, though. However, and because I have experienced it with more than one of my previous relationships, where before they got to utilizing their words, they were utilizing their dick to try to show me, or not really, I'm saying the word show, but express their love and care for me instead of using your words, because I still need to hear it. Or it still has to be said, and there has to be some sort of verbal agreement for us both to understand what is or is not happening. But I do understand, like I said, going back to the manipulation and seeing how many people... I just feel like I was raised right. Mama raised us right. She wants us to be ratchet now. Because she want to be ratchet now. But me, my siblings, and just how some, to a degree, I went through a period of naive. I had to heal I had to heal the version of me that was naive to a lot of shit too, because we were protected. My mother was a lioness. So we didn't have to, some things we did not experience because of her protection or sometimes over protection. But just goodness, I saw goodness a lot growing up. There were just genuinely good people. I never just seen even family do shiesty shit that they be doing now. That's not what we saw growing up, me, myself. And even when I look back, not to say that, or the things that we learned over time, not to say that it didn't happen, but it was not a regular thing that happened in my family. So a lot of that has something to do with, you said, discernment. But that's good. I think right now I'm healing, obviously, the limelight, but I think I'm in it. We are at episode 3 at this point. It's my 3rd recording. The being seen has always, like stage fright, I've had that a lot. Even though I love singing, I won't sing unless I'm drunk somewhere. I'll sing. But then I don't really care about the notes. And the definitely healing the perfectionist within me. I want everything that I do to be at the highest, executed at the highest level with a clean and to be edifying to this work that I call myself, that I say that I'm doing. I want it to always be at the highest level of edification. But I don't want to feel like everything has to be perfect, because I feel like that perfectionism caused me to stall a lot of times. Mm-hmm. And with that, releasing the perfectionism, allowing myself to just see myself in the work that I've done. Sometimes that whole art show I did, it didn't take me until 3 weeks after the art show to say, damn, I did that shit. Through all the adversities that I experienced with it, through the changes of people being here, being a good energy, and all of a sudden that just switching and changing, and not on my part, it literally being their energy, but them not wanting to accept it. I accept that my ability to expand is going to expand the parts of you that you have not addressed, so that you can step up to where you say you want to be. And I know that my requirement, at least in terms of the work that I do with clients and things like that, is to hold you to what you said you wanted to do in the beginning. You said, this is what you said you wanted. I've checked in. You said, this is something that you still want. If that desire has not changed, then what are you doing to still obtain that goal, right? If that's still something you desire, what are you doing and how are you working to obtain that? But in general, the ability to hide no longer exists for me. I can stay in my lair or in my oasis.
So what are things that you do when you're uncomfortable during your changes?
So this particular transition I've been in since they thrust me into full-time entrepreneurship and full-time ministry, as I like to call it, I have been heavy cleansing, heavy detoxing, heavy making sure things are in order. My space has to be in at least my level of order, because I'm still a Sagittarius, but everything has to be in order. Today I went and did yoga. After that, I found myself doing vibro meditation. That was freaking phenomenal. If you're here in Houston, go hit up Come Be Well. It's amazing. They have classes on that, meditation classes. I feel like it really is becoming a spiritual hub for people who are seeking something alternative to yoga, because they think, wellness is, they just think that that's the one space they feel like they can find healing is at the yoga class. And I'm going to tell you, I went and that wasn't it when I first started. It was not at yoga at all. So, but yoga is a good modality. And ultimately, I want to just show people other modalities, and yoga is a modality. Grounding, earth, going outside, grounding. If you are a planter with a green thumb, getting your hands in soil regularly will probably be like, if you're an earth sign, that keeps your energy grounded. But I've been grounding, cleansing. Tomorrow I'm going to the spa. I'm currently in the ritual, and I've organized my day, because discipline is also something I'm healing. Mm-hmm. I've been such a free-flowing spirit, and discipline has not been a requirement. I'm a lucky girl, and I just land in good places. I stay consistent with what I do, but structured, discipline, I need somebody who thinks that way to keep things organized. But I'm doing good so far.
That's something else that I can, like you said, the discipline part, and with me not being hard-headed, but in the sense of certain signs and things are given to me, stop being in disbelief as if I'm not worthy enough to come into those things. Mm-hmm. So that's been something for me too. I've been working on.
Have you tried the subconscious reprogramming, some of those techniques?
Don't know what the techniques are. I probably have been doing it.
Because your brain functions on the surface, spiritually speaking.
When I say your brain don't know you bullshitting, but I've been basically talking myself up, just instead of always used to being like, I don't think that, cause just reversing everything.
And I do, I am, I see, I feel, all of those. Affirming yourself really does help. It's like a part of my internal prayer. I pray to myself. Would be like, you just talk to yourself? No, I'm praying internally. I am reminding the God within that I can do this shit. It's a God in there. How dare I act anything less than? So it took me a while to get there. I recently saw this quote that said, I forgive myself for not knowing the things that only time could teach. And that hit. Right. So I have been flowing for like last 6 months. I was late. I remember a couple months ago, I was late to my nephew's birthday party. My sister was always late, and nothing had happened. And I said, so I'm here. Then all of a sudden, the food was ready. The people had started arriving. I said, I am always in God's timing. It's just, I arrive at the perfect place and time at all times. Divine timing, God's timing, whatever. I'm in that thing. I figured that part out. So before we wrap up, I want to ask one more question. If you had nothing to heal from, because there's an alternate reality that got it all, right? And there is an existence that you could quantum leap into. If there was nothing that you had to heal from, what would you be?
If there was nothing I had to heal from, what would I be?
I'm going to let your mind just take you whatever answer comes.
Probably a husband.
I wasn't expecting that. I thought you were going to say a Super Saiyan or something on Naruto or some shit.
Why?
A husband. Because there are a lot of unhealed husbands.
Yeah, you are right about that. You're definitely right.
Yeah, a lot of wannabe husbands.
You're right. But I wouldn't even say the archetype husband, but husband. Just a husband. Somebody who would be proudly called, being proudly called a husband and such.
And what does that look like? What does this proud husband do that makes him a good husband? What makes a good husband?
It depends on the woman, because what may be good for the goose may not be good for the gander. What one dude is doing for a one woman,
he don't do for the other.
It ain't even that he not gonna do it. It's just it may not be enough for the other woman, or it may be too little. Well, that's the same thing, or it may be too much. You feel me? Like, that's why I say it's really depending on that woman. So whoever in that other realm who I came across, I was just that healed person that was able to.
We found our match.
Right.
I see. I should. If I had nothing to heal, what would I be? Ali? Maybe not Ali. My sister says I have a God complex sometimes, because it's like when you're a medium, you could talk to other spirits. It's so interesting. But I had a past life reading that said I was an Egyptian leader. I've been a leader in different I've seen one of them. I've seen one of them, countered one of my cells in another lifetime. And I was a warrior general in the army. And I was sitting we were all by the lake. I don't know, I guess like a chill. I just was hanging with the boys. I was like feminine, kind of feel like I'm feminine yet strong, but it was different. I was in the army. I was like a soldier, but I was leading the troops, and my whole troop was men.
So you were Mulan? No, I'm playing.
I'm Mulan. It was definitely an African version for sure. I had short hair. I was still thick as fuck. I think I've been thick in all my lifetimes. I just think I have been in all my lifetimes. But that's what I think that I would be. I think that I feel like in my previous lifetimes, because there were less things to inhibit, at least in the lifetime that I was royalty, I feel like I would be royalty if I had nothing to heal, or modern day royalty of some sort, whatever that looks like in this lifetime. Not the kings, not them other people over there, what they doing. I'm not talking like, that's what I'm saying, whatever today's version of that would look like, or this timelines. Right. And so I do want to talk about that, because another big and important message that I've been receiving in my meditation has been, if we get real caught up in what they're showing us, because they didn't just let them files leak for no fucking reason. No. They want us to know. They want us to be aware that we've done this and we've done this in your face for all these years, blah, right? And if we get caught up in the Epstein files, this talk of World War III, all of this other stuff, we can miss the goodness that's actually happening right now, because we are shifting into the global consciousness movement where more people are standing up and against the bullshit. And especially more melanated people are just tired of. All of our people are not sitting in the hood and okay with being there. And now all of our people are not sitting in stuck situations, unable to come out. There are definitely people who have there are definitely those of us who have harder barriers to overcome and all those things, but their minds are not trapped there. And that assumption that everybody from the hood is crazy, is a lie. I'm acting on, like, can't keep doing this. You see something, don't say some shit. even in our communities, there's going to be way more see something, say something, so that we can get better. No more hiding behind, gonna be niggas. No, it's not okay anymore. Hey, did you enjoy coming on being my first guest?
I did.
So you want to tell the people how to find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Endigo Weirdie, Endigo Weirdie with an IE.
Be clear on that.
Reach me on artist. I'm a teacher.
He does commission pieces too.
That part.
Working artists.
Murals, such and such. So just hit me up. Oh, and on the fashion side, clothing. So just tap in with me.
Creators creating in their creatorship. Beautiful.
Creators creating creativity, basically.
Period. Well, until next time, thank you so much for joining this week. Until we meet again, or wherever you may you be filled with light and love, experience joy at the highest level. Allow yourself to explore yourself deeper and have more healing conversations with yourself and your community. I hope that this episode sparked and expanded and you gained something from this experience.